Okay, let's keep going. We're going to bring in Richard Kolko, a retired FBI supervisory special agent. It is good to see you, sir, even under these circumstances. What are investigators focused on in these first few hours, and what are the key questions they're trying to answer now?
Well, number one is always life-saving, what they can do for the people that are injured, people that are wounded. And of course, number two is finding the person or persons that did this. I've just been scouring the internet myself, as I know many people are at CNN and around the world. The social media posts can lead you down a rabbit hole as far as what actually happened. What you're seeing has to be validated. You know, you can't just take these videos at face value. There's got to be some investigative work done by either the media or law enforcement. So that work is being done. So right now, law enforcement's flooding the area, looking for any suspect. They're trying to get those witness interviews. My goodness, there's going to be plenty of video to look at. We know that. So they've got to start collecting that, going through that, and just beginning this investigation.
This happened at one of Seattle's biggest public festivals. From a security perspective, how difficult is it to protect even events like this?
Ben, that's a great question. This is the one that everybody fears. This is what's just called a soft target. They don't have the security. There's no magnetometers going through here. There's 100,000 people strolling the streets, enjoying an evening in Seattle. They expect over 300,000 people over the 3-day period, 100,000 people a day. And as far as setting up, rigid security for that, just not feasible, not possible. And so it is the definition of a soft target. But that depends, once they find out who did this or why they did this. Is it something as, is it gangs? Is it terrorism? Is it crime? They're going to have to figure that out, and that'll take a little while. Right now, we know how nervous America's been across the country for any acts of terrorism because of the ongoing conflict in Iran and the threats that have emanated from there. But saying anything like that would be just absolutely jumping to conclusions. I saw videos where they said somebody was already arrested. Nothing like that's been confirmed. So the most important thing right now is do what they can to save the people, save the crime scene there. They have to start processing that as quick as they can. And of course, any sort of manhunt to track down this person. And that person very likely remains armed. So very dangerous, not only for law enforcement when they find them, but for anybody else that person may encounter.
It is absolutely awful. Witnesses say that many people initially thought the gunfire was just fireworks. How much can that kind of confusion affect the emergency response?
I think that's pretty standard. People just, even though we hear about so many shootings across America these days, your first indication or inclination is that it is fireworks. That's what it sounds like. People that aren't used to what firearms sound like, it very much can sound like fireworks. So that takes a couple of seconds. Then you start to see the people running, as we see in a lot of these social media videos. And this is horrific. We've got 2 people shot and killed on scene, 5 people, I believe, in hospitals, including a 2-year-old little boy. Horrible. But also, many people can often be injured, even killed in the stampedes that occur after these shootings once people see what's going on. So just even once the gunfire ends, that doesn't mean the danger is ended. And it's still a lot of danger for the people that are fleeing the area.
At this stage, what evidence will investigators be looking for to determine whether this was a targeted attack or a random act of violence?
Well, they're going to go to basic investigative methods here. They're going to want to do witness interviews. They're going to want to grab all the videos that they can. They're going to want to process the crime scene, see what kind of firearms, 1 gun, 2 guns. They'll talk to anybody they can who saw that. If this was some sort of crime or gang-related event, there would have been somebody who may have seen or heard something before it actually flared up to the point of gunfire. If it was a targeted attack, there may be somebody who had some idea that this was going on and saw somebody scouting out the area, looking suspicious, things like that. So all of that will come to light. It's going to take a while to get this. I understand Seattle Police Department is planning on a press conference. Hopefully that will help answer some of the questions, and hopefully they'll develop a photograph early in this investigation that they can get out, because my goodness, there's only so many Seattle Police Department and FBI and ATF agents in the area, but there's a lot lot of citizens out there, and if they see that photograph, there's a much better chance that they may recognize the person or have that piece of information that could be helpful to law enforcement. So if somebody's got some idea, saw somebody running, carrying a gun, saw something before the shooting started, now's the perfect time to pick up the phone and call Seattle PD or the FBI.
Yes, indeed. We'll leave it there for now, Richard, but thank you so much. I'm sure we'll speak to you again later. Thank you for now, Richard Coco.
Of course, Ben. Thank you.